And welcome back to the channel where we talk about only good comics. I'm Brant, and this is Firsts. This is that series where we talk about those brand new number one issues, new character debuts, new story arcs, and the like. And this is for books that are coming out on August 13th, 2025. I'm back, finally, after a long break, an unintended long break. I am finally back with an episode. I've been trying to get an episode of this show up for the past 3 weeks. As you may recall, I was moving over the past month, and once I got here, the internet, not great, had some issues. The first time I tried to record it, it was just a mess. The second time, I recorded in multiple parts, and it was still choppy and had all kinds of errors and cutting in and out. I even tried it here tonight, and it cut out a minute into my first take on this. We did have my brother-in-law come over, and he kind of worked some magic, got some things running a little smoother. So it has been better, but we'll see how it goes for streaming because I haven't really tried that since he came over and fixed it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this episode goes well. So it's been a while. I appreciate your patience. Hope you are happy that I'm back. I'm happy to be back doing this. And you may notice that I changed the name a little bit because I've posted these on Saturday, Sunday, even Monday more often than I have Friday in the past several, weeks and months. So I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to call it First or Weekly Comic First. And whatever day it ends up falling on, that's the day that it's going to be. So that way I'm not beholden to Friday and I don't feel bad if I don't get it up on Friday. So that's kind of what I'm trying to go for here. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, hope you are excited to talk about some new number one issues. I do have actually some recaps from last week. Even though I didn't have a show last week, I did read some first issues that came out this week. So I will talk about those briefly as I normally do. So the first one I'm going to talk about is one that's kind of got some mixed reviews, which is DC Worlds Collide Special Edition. And this collects the four parts of this kind of tie-in prequel kind of thing to the video game DC Worlds Collide. I believe it's a mobile game. I have not played it, but this ties into that. So it's not in continuity with the comics. So just keep that in mind. But this is written by Gail Simone with art by Pop Man. So incredible creative team involved with this. The reviews kind of dodgy with this, but when you're talking about a video game tie-in and you're in the characters of, or you're in the voice of the game, it's a different continuity, it's a different audience, and all that kind of stuff. You have to consider that. You have to put that in perspective when you read something like this, and not expect it to be like tied into the deepest history and the volumes of character growth and all of this stuff. You have to kind of look at it with fresh eyes and look at it with the audience that it's intended for. And that's what I tried to do with this. First of all, I think the art was fantastic. It's a beautiful book, a beautiful story, visually. And I really liked the kind of date not date thing between Nightwing and Batgirl. I thought that was cute. I thought it was fun. If the whole book was that, I would have been happy. I even liked Catwoman here. It is a lot of surface level stuff. They fought a bunch of villains. You had just a bunch of characters thrown in here so everybody could get some screen time, so you could showcase all these characters that are in this game and so forth. If it had stuck with that, I think it would have been fine. The one thing that did bug me a little bit was Batgirl kind of fangirling out over Wonder Woman. I thought that was a little weird, especially considering the continuity just in general of Robin's character, knowing that he was Robin and then he became Nightwing, became part of Teen Titans. At this point, it seems logical that Batgirl would have met Wonder Woman, would be friends with her, would know who she is, and would not be at this point with her where she's fangirling about it. It was just a little awkward, a little weird for me. But other than that, I thought it was fine. I thought it was a fun book. I didn't hate it. didn't love it. I wouldn't, recommend it necessarily. But if you're into the video game tie-ins, or you just want to read a fun story with some characters that you like with some good art, um, you could check this one out, especially if you're going to play the video game. But if not, yeah, you could probably skip it. But for me, I had a good time with it. So take that for what it's worth. Next up, we're sticking with DC, but we're going in continuity now. We're talking Cheetah and Cheshire rob the Justice League. So this is interesting. It starts off with Cheetah fighting this hunger that this Cheetah god, that controls her, transformation, all this stuff. She's always hungry for human flesh and all this stuff, and she's trying to quit it. She doesn't want to be beholden to this god and this curse that she has. And so she's looking for a way to fix that. In the meantime, Cheshire is looking to just cause havoc and, steal stuff and kill people in the process. And so she does that. And these two come together because Cheetah has the idea to rob the Watchtower, which is crawling with Justice League members, because they want the power bank, the box of superpowers that they have all the powers in there stored from the whole Amanda Waller fiasco and everything, where their powers were taken and all this stuff. So that's what they want to rob, because obviously Cheetah kind of sees this as a way to get rid of this hunger that is plaguing her, right? So it's fun where we get solo moments of the two of them, and then we get them coming together, having dinner, walking through the logistics of this, and the the insanity of trying to rob the Justice League, just the two of them, and we end up with them trying to get a crew together. So fantastic first start to this issue. The art is really top notch, and this one is written by Greg Rucka and Nicola Scott, so another top notch creative team. And yeah, it was a fun book. I knew it was going to be a fun book going in. I was excited about it. And I was not disappointed at all with this story. I cannot wait to read more of this. I just think it's going to be, a crazy ride seeing these two, supervillains trying to rob the Justice League, and what all that entails, who's going to be on their team and all of this stuff. It's going to be a fun time. And finally, one that I was looking forward to, which is Archie versus Minor Threats. Now, if you're not familiar with Minor Threats, this is the world that Patton Oswalt and Jordan Bloom created. They started it at Dark Horse. There have been several tie-ins to this world. There's been, I think, a couple of miniseries, and this is basically the world of this character named Playtime, who decided to take out the heroes, but they weren't really heroes. They were killers and villains. They weren't great. So she takes them out, and now she's basically the ruler of this town, and she's currently running out all magic users. She doesn't want anything to do with magic. On the flip side of this, Sabrina wants to take Harvey Kinkle to this ball that only witches and warlocks can attend, unless she comes up with some mystical artifact that she can exchange for his entry. And she finds this artifact in Twilight City, which is the setting for Minor Threats. Meanwhile, she has to meet her contact to get her into this place in Riverdale, enter the Riverdale crew. So it's another crossover, much like the recent Jay and Silent Bob and Archie crossover, which I absolutely loved. I loved the balance of those two properties together. It was kind of funny seeing Archie come in contact with very blue and often vulgar characters like Jay and Silent Bob, and pot use and all this stuff, and just seeing him kind of squirm around that kind of environment was kind of funny to watch. But it still felt very Archie, and it felt very Kevin Smith at the same time. But Kevin Smith was writing it. I felt like he paid tribute to the Archie side of it as well, so it was really well balanced. This one, however, was a little bit less balanced in that way, and it was a little bit more tongue-in-cheek, but it kind of took the Archie characters a little overboard for my tastes. The minor threats characters were fine, but it was very surface level because and again, you have to have the plot device of them trying to get rid of magic users because there's a magic user in Sabrina coming into the mix. So that's going to cause some problems. And this is a multiple part, unlike the Jay and Silent Bob one, which I think was a one shot. This is a multi part story. I don't know how many issues it is, but it definitely is continued to another issue. And the reason I say it was a little bit over the top was Archie and crew. They were just too, like, even more wholesome than they are in their actual comics. Like Archie not even willing to go over to Reggie's because he was going to break into a craft root beer collection of Reggie's dad, and he couldn't be a wrongdoer for a second. It was too much. Archie and crew are never quite that cautious. It was just, it was somebody making fun of the whole dynamic of the Archie world. And it felt like maybe not a total understanding of that world, especially as far as Archie and that whole universe had come over the past couple of decades. I feel like it was, I don't know, it was just a little bit too much tongue in cheek for me. At the same time, I do like the crossover here. I do think it's kind of funny. Just not the strongest one that I've read. And the Kevin Smith one was definitely better in my opinion. But I will continue to read this because I am a fan of Minor Threats and I'm a fan of Archie. So take that as you will. But that's it for the recap. So we're going to get into a few honorable mentions before we get into this week's rated books. First up, we have Bring On the Bad Guys, Red Skull edition this time. And this one is written by Stephanie Phillips, who I'm a big fan of, with art by Tommaso Bianchi. Now, I have not been reading these. I have not read a single one. I know some of you told me they're pretty good. Other people told me they're decent and a lot of fun. I just, for whatever reason, I just haven't got into these. I've got too much other stuff to read. But I am a big fan of Stephanie Phillips' work, so I might actually pick this one up. We'll see. But if you have been enjoying these, definitely want to put you onto this one. Next up, we have the Powerpuff Girls Supervillain Summer Spectacular. This is a 40-page book written by James III with art by Carlo Loro. And James 3, he's writing the Stitch series from Dynamite. And so if you've been enjoying what Dynamite's been doing with the Powerpuff Girls, definitely want to check out this special. And finally, also from Dynamite, we have Uncle Scrooge, Earth's Mightiest Duck. And the interesting thing about this is written by Jason Aaron, of all people. And there's an all-star cast of artists. Let me see if I can... we've got Ahmed Asrar, we've got Giuseppe Camicoli, Ciro Kingialasi. I probably butchered all of those, but those first two I'm familiar with. The third one, not so much. But definitely interesting seeing Jason Aaron write Uncle Scrooge in a tale where aliens have invaded, and he has to kind of face the aliens and keep Duckburg safe. So that's pretty fun. So definitely check that out, especially if you have been enjoying the Disney content that Dynamite has been producing. And with that, let's get into our rated books this week. First up, from Oni Press, we have Cemetery Kids Run Rabid, #1. This sees a bunch of kids who a year ago were kind of taken into this video game, and they managed to escape it. It was called Nightmare Cemetery. And after hours and hours in this place through this system that is only active while you're sleeping, it's called Dreamwave. They escaped it, but barely, and now they're being brought back into the game with a new DLC and having to fight their way through that as well. I don't know if this is a sequel to a previous thing or if that's just kind of the backstory and this is where we're headed, but it feels like Final Destination meets Ready Player One or something like that. It sounds kind of cool. Definitely a fun concept to play with. This is written by Zach Thompson, who you may be familiar with art by Daniel Rizzari. I'm not familiar with the artist, but Zach Thompson, Project Reese, Cable, Relay, various other works. I've definitely seen his name. I've read his work here and there. Age of X-Men, The Marvelous X-Men a few years ago, Age of X-Men, several things in Age of X-Men, Cruel Universe, Deadpool, Devil's Reign, etc. So various things, as you can see, they're listed. So yeah, it sounds pretty fun. Oni Press stuff I don't often pick up, and it's not always the easiest stuff to find. But if you are, if you have a shop that regularly carries them, and this sounds like a fun concept to you, you might check it out. As a gamer, it sounds like a fun time to me. But just because with video game content and these kind of stories, it's always kind of a little hit and miss. So I'm going to give it a possibly good, but I would like to check it out if I get a chance to. Next up is Lovestruck issue number 1 from AMP Comics. This is a company that has been making some waves. This is a company run by Don Hanfield, who worked with Scout Comics. I believe he's a production partner with Jeremy Renner, and he's a producer behind stuff like Nightfall. And he's done some indie comics that through Scout and through Kickstarter. I backed a couple of them, and I believe he writes this one as well. And this book has actually been optioned by Ryan Reynolds' production company for a TV series. So already making moves with this one. It says when jaded private investigator Triss accidentally kills Cupid during a botched wedding proposal, she's forced to team up with his ghost to help people fall in love or face jail time for manslaughter. Problem is, she doesn't believe in love. So yeah, that sounds like a fun TV series, right? Kind of, rom-com-y, maybe in the vein of like a Lucifer or something like that too. So I don't know. It sounds like a fun concept. And like I said, AMP is making some moves right now. So I'd definitely be interested in checking this one out if I can get my hands on this one. And because I'm, somewhat familiar with Hanfield's work, I'm going to give this one a potentially good. And I hope it lives up to the hype. And I'm looking forward to the TV series. Why not? Sounds like a fun time. All right, I mentioned Kevin Smith earlier, and we've got Quick Stops Volume 3, Issue number 1 here, written by Kevin Smith, part of the USQ-verse. And this one is all about chasing Amy. So this is the story that Holden, is it Holden? I think it's Holden, wrote. Holden wrote about Amy. And this is, the comic about growth, the comic about chasing Amy and all that stuff. So I'm a big fan of the Chasing Amy film. I like the characters of Holden and Banky in that. I like the whole USQ-verse. The only one that the one that I was actually one a lot of people prefer over some of the others, which is Dogma. That just wasn't my speed. I really like Mallrats and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Those are probably two of my favorite, but I loved Chasing Amy as well. So yeah, I'm all for this. It says enter Alyssa Jones, a close girl in the world and someone who means something. This is the comic Holden wrote about her, a comic about love, a comic about insecurity, a comic about growth, a comic about chasing Amy. So if you're a fan of the USQ verse, you definitely have to go check this one out. I have not read the previous volumes of Quick Stops, but this one I'm definitely interested in checking out, and I am going to give this one a potentially good. Next up, it's finally here, Valiant Beyond, Bloodshot issue number 1. This is the new era. This is basically their ultimate universe, their absolute universe, Valiant Beyond. And this is Bloodshot, which is kicking it off, I think, every week or every couple weeks or something. They're having a new one. I think next week is Tales of the Shadow Man. That might be 2 weeks. I don't know. It's coming up soon. I know that. So yeah, it says it's Bloodshot like you've never seen him before in this all-new cutting-edge series from writer Mauro Mantella and artist Fernando Hines Furukawa, who have done previous Valiant stuff. So if you're a Bloodshot fan, you want to check it out. For me, Bloodshot is actually the one of the few characters from Valiant that I have trouble getting into. Um, I don't know. There's always been something about Bloodshot that hasn't quite appealed to me. I like other characters in the Valiant universe a little bit better. But I'm definitely going to try this one out, see what their new universe is all about. But for now, I'm going to give it a possibly good. And I just hope that this new direction for the company, for the franchise, um, takes off for them, because I love Valiant. I love the characters. I love, the concept of their universe. Just, it needs to, jump out at. Even the description here, if you see it, it says designed as the ultimate, in all caps, jumping on point. The Valiant behind line of comics are absolute must reads. So obviously they're leaning heavily into this. So yeah, hopefully, they just have fun with it. Next up, we have Predator Kills the Marvel Universe, issue number 1. Now, I'm not usually into these Predator and Alien type books, but the Predator versus Spider-Man series was really good. It took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting to like it at all, but I really enjoyed it. So I'm actually curious about this one. I'm probably going to check this one out too, just to see, how it wraps up everything. It says it's the bloody kickoff to an epic battle between Predators and Marvel's heroes. So yeah, I'm into this, and it's written by Benjamin Percy, with art by Marcelo Ferreira, and Daniel Piccoletto. I'm butchering the names all over the place this week, but yeah, Benjamin Percy's been a rising writer here and has been trusted with more and more, because he's been doing really solid work. So we'll see what he has to offer with Predator Kills the Marvel Universe. For me, I'm giving this one a potentially good. Next, we have a black label book from DC Comics called Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum, issue number 1. I thought the concept of this one was really interesting. I don't get a lot of black label books, as you probably know, but this one just stood out to me. This is by W. Maxwell Prince, Martin Morazzo, who I'm a big fan of, and Chris O'Halloran. And this is basically several new strains of kryptonite were discovered in a, I think it's somewhere in space. I read this earlier. New kryptonite's been, yeah, in deep space, and Superman has to go, investigate what exactly each of these new colors do, and everything. So I'm assuming these are ones that we already know about, but it could be brand new ones. I'm not exactly sure how they're playing this. But either way, it's interesting to see him kind of come into contact for the first time with these new strains of kryptonite and how they affect him and how that's going to play out. So, like I said, pretty interesting. It's the team behind Ice Cream Man. So if you're a big fan of Ice Cream Man, you might check it out. Might have a tone that you're familiar with. So yeah, for me, I'm going to give this one a potentially good. And yeah, if you check this out, let me know what you think about it. If you think it's worth picking up. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I do think it's an interesting concept, but again, it's a black label book and it's not in continuity, and those are the hardest ones for me to pick up, because I try to, stay within what I'm reading. And it's, with so many new books coming out and stuff that really excites me, it's hard to kind of take a chance on some stuff. So yeah, if you guys check this out, let me know. And if I check it out, I'll let you know next week whether I liked it or not. As for one I know I'm going to like, Space Ghost, issue number 1. It is a brand new volume for this same creative team, or at least same writer, David Pepos. I don't remember if, Jonathan Loud did do the art previously, and we have covers by a bevy of various artists. So yeah, this is a brand new year of adventures for Space Ghost, as he returns with this new classic Space Ghost villain. Let's see, it says Space Ghost and Blip fight to defuse a hostage situation on an amusement park. I'm getting tongue tied tonight. An amusement park planet that's been hijacked by the villainous Toy Maker. So yeah, we're gonna see a classic villain from Space Ghost past. It looks like things might get a little serious here. We see a bloody Space Ghost taking his mask off, or his cowl off here. Don't know what that's all about, if that ties into the story or if it's just a cool visual. I don't care. This book is fantastic. If you're not reading Space Ghost, you're missing out. David Pepose is killing it with this property. Just took it into the stratosphere as far as I'm concerned. This is one of the best kind of reboots of a franchise that I have ever seen in comics. It's just, I know that's pretty big hype. But he just managed to do something special with this character that I don't think enough people are talking about or trying this out. So I highly recommend Space Ghost. And I'm giving this one a positively good, which you all know is not something I give out lightly. It's coveted. I save it for the absolute best books, the ones that I absolutely love and have a good time with every single issue. And this is one of those books. So Space Ghost, #1, Volume 2, positively good from me. And finally, we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, issue #1. This is the third crossover between these two. The first one was outstanding. It was phenomenal. It couldn't have been any better. The second one, not so much. It fell off the rails for me. It just was not fun. I didn't even finish it. I was really disappointed by it, but it was trying to live up to the hype of that first one. Now we're back with a third one. I don't know how to feel about this. I'm hoping it's I'm not going to expect it to be as good as the first one, but if it's better than the second one, it's already a leg up. We have Ryan Parrott writing once again with Vincenzo Federici on the art. So already we know it's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be well written. It's just the matter of the story. So in this one, Rita and Krang are defeated. The bad guys are cutting the Rangers and Turtles no slack, though, because Lord Zed and the Shredder have a new plan to take down all these heroes. So we don't know what that plan is. That's pretty vague. We don't know where it's going to go from here. I'm definitely going to try out the first issue because I love Ryan Parrott. I love his Power Rangers stuff. I love both. I love TMNT. Have since I was a kid. So I want good things for this. But if it doesn't, if it gives me, volume 2 vibes, I don't know that I can continue with it. So I'm hopeful, but I'm hesitant. That's the best way I can put it here. So I'm going to give it a promisingly good, and that's kind of a tentative promisingly good. I was kind of teetering between, do I give it potential? But no, I'm going to give it promisingly because we do have a fantastic creative team. We do have history of really good storytelling and really good art from this crossover with the first volume. So we'll see what it has in store. But yeah, that's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #3. Promisingly good. And that's it for the rated books this week. We have just about wrapped up another episode of First, finally, the first one back. And yeah, I'm hoping to keep cranking these out every week. Knock on wood, all that good stuff that the internet holds up. And when I go back to edit this, that it doesn't look like total crap. So we'll see. If you're seeing this, then it worked out. And that's great. All right, so before we get out of here, of course, as usual, I'm going to talk about a few other books that I am looking forward to. Been Chosen, issue #2. This is written and illustrated by David Marquez, who I'm a fan of. I liked the first issue. It didn't blow me away, but I did enjoy, the concept of it and this character that is surrounded by all these magic wielding warriors, hasn't found their magic yet, but they're told that they're special and this and that. It's one of those stories like the Harry Potter kind of vibe. Your young heroic character, unassuming character that's going to be the hero that saves the day and all that kind of stuff. I like those kind of stories. I like David Marquez. So far, I like the world that they've created. So I'm excited for the next issue. Bug Wars issue #6 is the last issue of this first arc. Long time coming. It feels like it's been a little bit since we got an issue. Maybe that's just because I'm behind on reading and it came out regularly and I just haven't caught up. I don't know. But this one is oversized. It's 48 pages. And it's coming to, as it says here, a gut-wrenching finale as Slade Slaymaker stands alone against an army of warrior mites and murderous insects. So going to be a fun time, and it's going to be a bloody battle. I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer, issue number 5. This series is dark and twisted, and it went to darker places in the last issue as well. And now we're going to see where Rennie goes from here. She's discovered that she can be both a serial killer and have a normal life, which she was kind of caught in between the two, and now she's found a way to keep killing people and still be, happy and fulfilled, which is kind of a really terrifying thought. But there's just, I've said it every single issue, there's something about this book that just is fun to read, and that, I don't know what that says about me, but is what it is. Green Lantern Corps issue number 7. We're continuing this I can't think of what the event is, the Starbreaker Supremacy thing. The Sorrow Lanterns light, or that lantern, they've ignited the light, and everything has gone black and white as of the last issue of Green Lantern, and so things are kind of going crazy there. Now there's this strange non-organic lanterns devising plans to bring the Spectrum back and all this stuff. So it's just some weird stuff going on, but so far so good. And I'm looking forward to this, as just this whole event has been fun. This is part 2. So if you missed part 1, go check out Green Lantern. I think it was issue 26 was the first part. Just really good stuff in the Green Lantern books right now. Then, of course, the Ultimates issue number 15. The Monk, the Dragon, and the Fist, Shang-Chi. We are going back to the deaths of the Ultimates, and we're going to pick up from that point, I guess. It sounds like a little bit of time travel. We learned that there has already been some time travel and some correcting of the timeline a little bit by Doom in this recently. So I guess we're going to see the repercussions of all that now. Rogue Sun issue number 29. Noxious's true intentions have been revealed, and now Dylan and Ori have to choose between advice they're going to take and kind of deal with what comes with that decision. So that's going to be fun. It's been really good since Ori got the second Sunstone, and we've had the two kind of warring yet still trying to work together Rogue Suns. That's made it more interesting because we've had more character growth for both Dylan and Ori through this, and so I'm really interested to see where that goes. Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion issue number 3. It says Miles' first confrontation with the Makers Council. We've got Silver Samurai here. We've got a band of mutants calling themselves the X-Men come to the aid. So I guess the Ultimate X-Men are popping into this book now. And now there is a fly flying around my head. And we're going to learn the dark universe, or the dark history of this alternate universe in this issue. And then finally, Transformers number 23, Matrix. Last hope for the Autobots lies within the Matrix, and the Decepticons, they might beat them before they can find the answer. We're going to have to see how this plays out. It's looking dire, but I have faith in my Transformers, my Autobots specifically, so we'll see how that plays out as well. But that's it. That is all the books, which is fortunate because I'm starting to lose my voice, and there's a fly right there trying to dive bomb me. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my comeback. It is like 4 o'clock in the morning as I'm recording this. By the time I was able to get the internet solid and stable where I could do this, I hope you I hope the show was worth the wait. I know I'm a little bit tongue-tied. I'm a little out of practice. Haven't done one of these in a while now, but I'll get back in the groove. But if you did like it, please consider hitting that like button. And if you want to see more of the content, hit that subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss any of the other content going up on this channel, which is basically just this show right now. But come back every week for a brand new episode of this show. Of course, you can follow me across social media at onlygoodcomics, or type in onlygoodcomics.com to take you right back to this YouTube channel where we talk about only good comics. Until next time, thanks for watching. Take care. Keep reading those comics, and I'll see you soon. Bye.